You are Truth or Fake segment now. I'm joined by France 24's Emerald Maxwell.
Hi,
Emerald, hi, nice to see you. Listen, you've been looking at videos on social media following the re-election of Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan last night. A couple of those videos, Emerald, seem to show massive crowds celebrating Erdogan's victory at the Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. What more do we know at this stage?
Yes, so of course the famous Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem is a frequent flashpoint site for between Israelis and Palestinians, partly because it's also the third holiest site in Islam. And these two videos supposedly show it last night, and we see a huge crowd in front of the mosque, and they were shared on Twitter with claims that Muslims flocked to Al-Aqsa to celebrate Erdogan's victory. They were shared by, amongst others, this think tank, which has ties to Erdogan's party. It was also shared by this media, Sabah, which also is a pro-government Turkish media. And we have this one also, the state broadcaster TRT shared it. That racked up 126,000 views on Twitter. And then here we have this video, a slightly different angle, a bird's eye view of the mosque. And it tells us, it makes the same claim that these are Erdogan supporters. But the Turkish fact-checking site Tayet and the Arab fact-checking site Mizbah looked into these videos. And that is not what they found. Simply using keyword searches, they found versions of these videos which were published well before last night. And here we see a version, the earliest version they found on YouTube, which dates back to the 7th of April. And it comes with a caption, "In the courtyard of Aqsa Mosque after the dawn prayer, condemning the violations of the Israeli occupation." And that's a reference to, well, this gathering came about because Israeli forces had actually stormed the mosque on the 4th and 6th of April, as CNN tells us in this article here. And meanwhile, the earliest versions of the other video that I showed you were published on April 18th here on Instagram. And this gathering was described in the Middle East Monitor in an article the same day. And it explains that these were actually Palestinians gathering to mark the 27th night of Ramadan. So nothing to do with either Turkey or Erdogan. Of course, thousands of Turks did take to the streets last night across Turkey, but these videos do not show his supporters in Jerusalem, and they have presumably been presented as such by pro-Erdogan quarters in order to exaggerate his level of support, which shouldn't surprise us given his his hold on the Turkish media, Rochelle.
I mean, Emerald, those are not, in the wake of these elections on Sunday, they're not the only videos that are being widely shared on social media. Another video that's doing the rounds is one for people calling for Erdogan's opponent, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, to resign outside of the headquarters of his party, the CHP. Again, is that true or fake?
Well, in this video, we hear people shouting in Turkish, "Kemal, resign," in front of the CHP headquarters. And it was shared by a number of social media accounts with the claim that thousands of people had gathered that same evening. And at first glance, it seems plausible because, of course, Kılıçdaroğlu did lose that night. And some people have been calling for his resignation as the leader of the opposition on social media. But Tayet has fact-checked the video in question. And the first clue that it doesn't actually show the scene from last night is the banner which is hanging in front of the headquarters in the video. We see it there, and there's a clearer version here. In fact, this banner dates from the 2017 constitutional referendum campaign, which the CHP was campaigning. They were campaigning for no. Meanwhile, Turkish journalist Serkan Alan took a photo of the CHP headquarters last night, and we can see that that banner has actually been replaced with a much more up-to-date one showing it's a presidential campaign banner of Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, and it says, "I'm Kemal, I'm coming." So the video, we can tell, is likely not current, and armed with that knowledge, Tayet did a keyword search and found earlier instances of this video online. We see here, this one dates to the 16th of April 2017. That is exactly after the CHP lost the referendum and the constitution was reformed by Erdogan back in 2017. So, of course, although a majority of Turks didn't vote for Kılıçdaroğlu, Rochelle, it seems that this video, in any case, is being shared out of context, in order to overstate the level of opposition towards him.
All right, Emil, thank you very much for looking at those videos for us on social media. You are up to date with our Truth or Fake segment.